listening to John Jewett's recent post about androgen receptors downregulating and steroid receptors basically not working anymore at a certain point. And he says he disagrees, and he says androgen receptors don't downregulate; they actually upregulate when you take in more PEDs or more androgens.
There a point where your steroid dose stops working. There was a hypothesis that steroid receptors, the androgen receptor, downregulates when using steroids, and the reason why you need to come off cycle. This, however, has been proven false, as when you take a higher level of androgens, you actually upregulate the androgen receptor.
Basically, more anabolic steroids, they upregulate, and therefore it can withstand a higher threshold.
When you are reaching a plateau, more likely what's occurring is that there is a balance in net muscle protein accretion that has occurred for that dosage, and you simply need more stimulus to drive more growth. This might mean a greater dose is now required to see out more gain. So it doesn't come from a plateau coming from the actual steroid becoming less effective. It's more so you've seen out the progress from that dosage.
My take is the androgen receptors, they're never going to really down-regulate. They're going to accept the therapeutic dosage, or a TRT, kind of like what Phil Biz was saying. They're not going to down-regulate on a therapeutic dosage. But this is all arbitrary, This is all hypothetical. We can't assume that the bodybuilder or the athlete is unhealthy and they're automatically going to have bad blood work and they're blasting things to the sky and they have bad liver and bad kidneys. Obviously, if their blood work is indicative of something being deleterious and unhealthy, of course things are going to down-regulate and they can't continue that normal PED dosage, okay? Even 300-400 milligrams of testosterone is going to cause side effects and problems on that individual that's unhealthy, okay? But if the blood markers are good, and this guy has great genetics and a great genetic predisposition of having a great AST, ALT liver enzymes, great kidney function, a low LDL, high HDL, okay? And they're accepting the PED efficiently. And by no means am I advocating any of this, okay? I'm not saying I'm advocating this or I agree on people taking more drugs and all this kind of stuff. I'm just saying, though, if he's healthy and he's a candidate for accepting these drugs, of course, the same 400 milligrams of testosterone and Boldinon or whatever it is that he's on, or Nandrolone, okay, he's not going to make bigger gains on the same dosage. I don't care how hard he trains. And I take that back. If he's not training hard already and his diet is shit and his sleep is shit, obviously those endogenous health markers can be improved on that same dosage and he can make progress. But all things considered, okay, let's just say that hypothetically, sleep is great, diet is phenomenal, high micronutrient and micronutrient dense foods, efficacious PEDs, phenomenal high intensity, progressive overload training. Same dosage is not going to create bigger results all of a sudden. I don't care what he does if nothing changes, okay? So obviously, if he adds a couple hundred extra milligrams of, say, testosterone or whatever it is, it's going to boost his levels up more, and it's going to be more accepting of a higher secretion of protein synthesis, and he will make more gains. So in that aspect of things, John Jewett is correct, okay? He's going to create a higher stimulus for progression through that PED threshold, okay? All things considered. Now, where Nick Trigili is correct is if the guy is unhealthy, his blood markers are shit, they're skyrocketed, and he's going to create bad health markers. Yeah, if his health goes first, then his body's an infrastructure is not going to accept, his organ health is not going to accept the higher PED drugs. So of course things are going to go to shit. It has nothing to do with androgen receptors accepting it or not. It just means his body in general is not going to accept it, And Phil Viz was talking about, negative feedback loop to the HPTA. Of course, suppression is going to happen when you put anything exogenous, okay? It could be 300 milligrams of testosterone, 200 milligrams of testosterone. Suppression is suppression to the HPTA. Hypothalamus is going to shut off signaling to GnRH or gonadotropin-releasing hormones, no matter what the dosage is. It could be therapeutic, it's still going to shut down. Now, again, arbitrary because it depends on the person. How long it takes for that person to shut down is person-dependent, person-specific. But all things considered, I think everybody's correct on this sense. And everybody's incorrect because it all depends on who the person is, who the subject is, how healthy they are, how healthy they're not. A lot of things have to be more specific. And it seems like to me everybody's being non-specific, or they're only specific to their own answer. for their own outcome of what they think the answer is to the androgen receptor thing. So this is my answer. Okay, my answer is these needs to be more specifics on the individual pertaining to his health markers and how his body accepts things and how young the athlete is, how his organ health is, etc. Whether if you can up the threshold of the PED and he's going to create a bigger balance of androgen receptor activation and protein synthesis to accept the drug and make bigger gains and continue to grow muscle, okay, through hypertrophy. So all things considered, like I said, a lot of things have to be to play, but this is just my opinion. Thank you, Coach Troy, Tate Fitness. See you later.